I'm Russ Dave, and you're listening to Ron Talks Tabletop Supershow Sunday. Ring the bell!
Hello, and welcome back to Ron Talks Tabletop Super Show Sunday, a podcast within a podcast where I talk about my favorite card game, Super Show the Game, and the various things going on in the community and all other sorts of topics. But today, as I do for most of these episodes, I brought in a guest to have a little chat with for a little bit. So, would you like to introduce yourself? Who are you?
My name is Matt Barone, aka Matty Bar One. I have from New Jersey, representing the tri-state area. So yeah, of
Thank you for coming on my show today.
course, thanks for having me. I'm really excited to be a part of this.
Cool, cool. I brought you on. We're going to talk about a little bit about gaming and probably some wrestling and obviously Super Show, um, and just kind of just have a good little time here. We're gonna have a good little chat this evening about gaming and wrestling and of course Super Show. I know that you have a little bit of a gaming background prior to coming into Super Show, so I just want to talk about that for a little bit. Like, what is your background in gaming, be it tabletop gaming, video gaming, whatever?
I mean, I could go back like when I was a kid. I got NES little app, for I think one of my Christmases, and that's like started my I guess my dive into gaming. And that's just like to have video gaming and stuff like that. And then like my brother was born, we got NES and Sega and all that stuff. Like that's something that's always been a part of me. It never really stopped video gaming. And then as I get older and like start besides the basic tabletop games you get home, like Monopoly and Life and all that stuff you play with your family, Magic came out, and I know I'm dating myself here, but like when Magic came out, I kind of got into that for a little bit, and then I kind of fell off because it just got overly competitive and just became a little much for me, and wasn't really like something I didn't have the desire to play anymore, I guess, with how aggressive it got with me and what it brought out in me. Yeah, so I kind of fell off from that, and then I started getting into like card game again when Pokemon got big because our brother and my sister both got into it, and I started getting into it because of them. So the three of us would always play together, along with our cousins and other friends. It was just kind of like coasted like there, like some games here and there. I pick up more, but then like I would say maybe 6, 7 years ago, I started really getting into gaming again. My friend bought part of a gaming store. I started getting there again to like really like into indie gaming and more not up I would say, but not like the generic games you find anywhere. Like a Western Civilization, was it Western Civilization? I think it is. Or no, Western Legends. I'm sorry, Western Legends and stuff like that. I like those games a little more complicated and aren't just, simple cookie cutter games.
Right. Western Legends. I don't know how much you follow my gaming social medias, but Western Legends has been one of my favorites since it came out way back in 2018 now.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fun game. I unfortunately don't have a lot of people to play with because a lot of my family aren't really into that gaming in that depth. So it's just kind of just like I did get like during COVID, a lot of people were looking for board games. I decided I flipped a lot of my collection, but that is probably one of the very few games I decided to keep for myself, just because even though I don't play it as much, it's something I don't think I can get rid of just because of how much I like the game.
I definitely know what you're talking about here. As far as like video games are concerned, is you do some electronic gaming to this day. What kind of stuff are you into these days?
A lot of open world gaming, and then like you know, uh, even though it's not like I want to say it's not my favorite, it's just something that I think it's just takes up some time. It's fun to play for me. Is Fortnite. I know it's very people think it's very childish and a kid game and stuff like that, but for me, it's fun. Like just passes time. You get to have a little fun, customize the skins, have all and try. There's all different game modes and always coming out with new stuff. Like almost like it sounds very. I don't know if this is the right way to compare it. It's like the Taco Bell of gaming. Like it's very generic, very basic, but they're always trying new things, always adding new things and mixing up and trying to keep things fresh for the gamer, which is I feel like rare in the gaming community, especially with free games and games like that where you're always just like it's mostly like the same thing over and over again. But yeah,
Right, right.
But overall, I like a lot of open world games, like the Borderlands series. I just actually I'm at I'm trying to 100% Hogwarts Legacy. I'm at 96%, but like I beat the game, found a lot of side quests, and now it's just like smaller side quests I'm trying to do. I think one of my favorites of all time is Skyrim. Something I've probably
Right.
played. Yeah, it's just
Yes.
like over like it came out, I got 400 hours logged in like when it was on the 360, and then it remastered. I did it again, and then when it came again on Xbox One, started all over. And of course, I started adding the mods and all the crazy stuff, and having just messing around with it. And it's like games like that. I feel like I don't like something that's very challenging for me, like Dark Souls. I don't find entertaining for me because it's just more frustrating. Like if I really want a challenge, I'll take the challenge. But if I'm gonna sit down and just play a game, I want a little bit of a challenge, but more storytelling, more fun, and something that's like actually enjoyable to me, as opposed to just being challenged and frustrated.
Right, right. And I understand that as well. Um, so I mean I can sit here and I got into Skyrim when it initially came out and I played it the wrong way, meaning I finished the game and played a little bit of side quests and didn't really get too deep into it. But
See, I'm a guy that I like try to do as many side quests as I can. Like, oh, this comes up and that comes up, and I do all that. And then like the side mission, the main mission, I do here and there. Just like I'll do one main mission quest, then like 10 side quests, then a main mission quest, then side quests, then main mission quests.
a lot of my friends are like that as well. So that's definitely understandable, and it's a game that rewards that, right?
Yeah.
Um, yeah. I know that you are also a wrestling fan. I want to talk about that a bit. What's been your experience with your wrestling fandom? Like,
I mean,
when you started and what do you like?
getting 80s, 90s, and like I remember one of my biggest memories was my dad took me to, I think it was like SummerSlam 91 or 92 at the Garden. It was when Miss Elizabeth married a Macho Man. He took me and my good friend Chris, growing up, I grew up with, and we had a great time. And that was just a cool experience for me. And like I think that's the thing I love about wrestling is it's like real life storytelling. You could go and watch it. Like there's you could watch a TV show, but it's very rare you get to watch it in real life. And you're just like, oh, it's coming to your area. You get to watch this story unfold in front of you. Whereas suppose you just always it's always on the screen. But yeah, I was
Well,
saying, I'd like to go back to is like wrestling is. I think a lot of us. I know you're a little bit older than me, but like we had a great to this day. We have a perfect time wrestling because it's just been good for so long. Like I think semi recently it hasn't been what it was when we were growing up, like the hype level and the excitement level. But that's also, it's hard to maintain that energy when you're
right.
peaking for so long.
With a lot of these forms of entertainment, there are definitely like peaks and valleys. So it's true. So who are you liking today?
I want to hate him as a person, but like seeing him grow as like into the game community is Logan Paul. Like he might not be a great person, he's very antagonistic, but he's one of those celebrity wrestlers that came in and you're like, oh, here's a celebrity wrestler. And then he actually like became good and decent at it and knows how to work the crowd, knows how to draw the heat, knows how to decently wrestle considering his back. He didn't really have much of a background. I mean, I also like Dirty Dominic Mysterio. He is insane. I think he knows how to draw heat, work the crowd well, play the crowd well. I date myself with a lot of wrestlers. I get stuck with like people I've known for years, like CM Punk. I think he is someone that's again. I'm a big guy who knows how to be a good wrestler in the ring and knows how to be good on the mic too.
Yeah. I came back to wrestling a few months after I discovered Super Show. So late 2023. Actually, I think the first saw clips of the end of Survivor Series, and Randy Orton returned and CM Punk returned, and I was not watching wrestling when CM Punk even started in WWE. Had taken a hiatus, but Randy Orton, I heard some bad things like about the kid back then, but like he grew on me. Even when I wasn't watching wrestling, I still saw the memes and I got a kick out of the memes. Then when I started coming back to wrestling, I started learning about him, how he's grown and he's matured, and was just kind of super open about how bad of a person that he was as a younger person. That's
Yeah,
which
and
takes a lot of
yeah, like he definitely grew and became matured. Like I think that's the thing too. You grow up with a wrestler, dad who's not wrestling well, but like what a huge guy in wrestling history,
yeah.
Bob Orton, and he's you come from that, you get into that business too, and you walk around like a little extra with you. So you think you have to do it much, but then he just got, he over the years he grew some humility, learned from it, and became that. And now so many younger wrestlers that are looking up to him and see him as he's a mentor for them and helps them out and puts them over. And it's good to see that it's very on the nose, but the evolution.
Right. Matt, when did you get into Super Show?
I want to say like pretty much when I got into like gaming, like real gaming again. I want to say
Okay.
6 years ago, 7 years ago.
Okay.
My friend Anthony took me and our another friend Rob to the Brooklyn Strategist, and they were having I learned to play night, like a demo night there. It was Steve, Sam, Pagillo, TJ Marconi, and a few other people. But I learned to play that night. I picked up out of box deck a Witch Hunter General. And I remember Steve and Pagillo can tell you this. My first match was against Pagillo. He almost beat me. And then I kicked out and ended up beating him. And then it took him and Steve 2 years to finally beat me after that. And like finished that night, like I finished second overall out of like maybe 10 of us. And like it grew from there and it just became something I love doing. And I love playing. Like there were some, valleys where I took a break or didn't play as much. But it's a game. It's one of the most consistent game, like card games or tabletop games. I want to say I've played in my life. I think just because there's so much, it's always evolving, always changing, and people changing, and like the techniques of how to play certain things, and what's coming out, new stuff coming out, and how things change, and how you can interact with other people too. Like usually, like you're playing certain games, and you're only interacting with your play group, and maybe a little bit outside that. But now that we can play online, I can play with you. I can play with people. Colby, who's out in Arizona or California, or Grump, who's in Arizona, and all those people from across the country, and even some like there's I forget who his name is, the one player that's in Australia. Yeah,
They call him the man from tomorrow. His name is
yeah,
Ian.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. There you go. And yeah, and that's like the great thing. And then like we have big events like Grand Gathering or ones that aren't ours, like Captain Con and Southern Fried and all that. Is we go to these events and we don't take over, but we have our own little group, and then we explore there and draw people in from there. And having something like that really helps, like especially when you get to go travel, try new things, and but also like have that core group with you too.
And I have to say, folks, for those of you who don't play Super Show or are not involved in the community, I'm telling you, this is unlike any other like card game out there. I don't see, aside from, maybe your small group of friends, people just don't hang out like we do in the Super Show community,
Yeah.
like as a whole, as a large group. It's really something.
Yeah, it's cool. It's not just like, oh, it's just these are just my gaming friends. These are my friends. Like he doesn't play as much anymore, and a lot of people have strong opinions about him. But Mark Perry, I met him through this game, and he's one of my best friends. I talk to him almost every day. He's someone I'm very close to. Help, and really like when I was part of my, I could say my life where I wasn't 100% confident in myself. He helped me through. Got help. He's one of the people that helped me get me back through that and get me out of that. That's something I really appreciate. Like along with other people, like Chris Pagillo, Steve, even Brian Schmidt. Like there's a lot of people in this game who don't get enough credit or don't see what everything else they do. They just see, the Super Show aspect of them. They don't see that person who they are. And a lot of people don't know, like especially even Mark Perry. He's again, people think he's a jerk and all this stuff, but he's genuine. If you get to know him and really like get past certain things, like we all have our hangups. He's a genuinely nice guy. He's a great father, a great grandpa,
Yeah.
like great and
Yeah.
good and a great friend.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Speaking of guys like Mark, it's not that it's that some people they're very forward and upfront in the way that they speak the truth, and it can be
It-
off-putting to some people. It's not ill-intentioned.
yeah, no, there are people in this game who do have ill intentions sometimes, and I'm not a big fan of them, and I'm not gonna drop them because that's on
Yeah.
them. But like I'm a little more forward, and I make a lot. I say that people say I'm a hater and stuff like that. It's mostly a joke. Like I'm a nice guy. I just like to have fun and like like I feel myself like if we're going in wrestling terms, like a Brian Pillman or Owen Hart guy, and like even CM Punk or Jericho. Like it's very like going out trying to hurt people or trying to be mean or malicious to people.
Right. The main thing is that like there's a lot of great people in this community,
Yeah.
and we genuinely care for each other. Even every family has their conflicts,
Yeah.
their
Yeah.
sources of
Frustration.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think it's how you go past that and move past that and like work things out together. So like you're going to be around this person. Do you want to keep this energy all the time around you, or do you want to be like, you know what? Let's both grow up and figure it out.
Right. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about your involvement in the Super Show community because I know that there's a lot of things that you do, but I'm not fully aware of the extent of the ways that you give back to the community. So why don't you tell me
It's
about that?
Yeah, so I think my biggest thing is I like doing learn to play demos or try to host learn to play things, or even if Steve needs someone to do they had I think it was WrestleCon last year here for Wrestle when they were having WrestleMania in New Jersey at MetLife. They had a WrestleCon in Newark, and Jeremy Steigerwald actually was one of the other hosts with me. Came up and we had a table there. We weren't a table to sell stuff. We were pretty much promoting the game, doing some learn to play, and promoting the new Kickstarter that was coming out at the time with Brian Myers and Matt Cardona. And stuff like that I like doing because I want this game to grow. So like I did a learn to play event at a comic shop recently, well not recently, but a little over a year ago, called East Coast Mags. And we got a decent, we got some new people playing. I'm not 100% if they bought, like, they went home and bought anything or like they bought anything because I was a little busy playing the game, but, or playing and trying to take care of things. But like there were definitely people I didn't notice, not familiar with, I guess that's the best way to put it. Sorry, trying the game out and playing, which I like to see. Like, I want this community and I really like going to places that we might not go to normally. Like, yeah, we could go to wrestling conventions and get card gaming conventions, but like go to a brewery, which I'm working out right now with a brewery by me called Bolero Snort, that I want to have a learn to play event there. And because it expands our horizons a little bit more. Like, the breweries always have a lot of breweries have tabletop games or games there, and it's a lot of people is where people go to socialize. So why not have that, bring that element in and get these people in, and then it grows from there. And just trying to find more places that you could grow outside just what we're used to, and get outside that thing and get more people into tabletop gaming too. Because if you're only going to be at gaming conventions, all you're going to get is gamers. If you go to like
Yes.
a brewery, you're not going to get gamers. And so a lot of people like have misconceptions about tabletop gaming. They think or card gaming, like they think Magic and Pokemon and all that stuff. And where now if you go outside that venue and go to, like, other places, they're gonna be like, oh well, I like wrestling, I like card games. This is actually pretty simple. This game's fun, and you can play with this many people. That's a good thing about Super Show too. It's pretty much easy to pick up. It's fun to play, and you can have multiple. You can, have more than two people play the game. You have, up to what, six? Like, sometimes we've had 7-person bird cages. That's the cool thing about this game too. And there's so many other factors that add into it that can make it a lot more enjoyable for people as opposed to Magic or other games where it's limited in a sense. No,
I want to talk about the game itself. Like, what is it in Super Show, the game, that really speaks to you?
I think it's brought two things I really like. I've always been a fan of gaming and wrestling together, but also it's not, for the most part, not overly competitive. You could have a good deck, a good competitor, but still have fun with it. You're not like, and people have fun with your match, and you're not being like, oh, this guy's trying too hard, or all he plays is not hard to play characters. Where you could try to find, you could make something fun to play, and it's good to play, and you can also have fun with it. Like, there's so many people in this game that are fun to play with, and I think that's the biggest thing. It's not just the game itself and the element; it's the people in it. Like, you, Jeremy, a lot of ACW guys and Deep South guys, and the constantly, Drew and all his friends. And even some of the guys in Tri-State, like, they're fun to play with and they're fun to interact with. And that's what makes this game and community so great, is the interactions you have and the way you play with people. And how much, yeah, that's the best way to put it is, it's not just like, all right, you're playing the game, that's it, end over. You play, like, a lot of card games, you play your match, it's over, move on to the next match. Where it's like you build relationships and you have fun, and people are like, oh, actually, what would be better in that deck? This card might
Yep.
be better. That card might
Yep.
make more sense for you. Because, again, it's like any card game. It's hard to keep up with things, and someone might know a card that fits better to your deck than you have in there.
Yeah. I've certainly given and received feedback like that post game, or just talked about, just had a post match breakdown, talking about the game and the things that we were really excited and everything like that. I dabbled into a couple other games like Lorcana and Star Wars Unlimited,
Yeah.
and even with Lorcana, which I would have to say is more casual than most of the other games that I've seen. There's still that, like, I don't know, that competitive kind of selfish edge.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't get a lot of talk.
No, yeah, I've seen I've seen Lorcana, and it's something I really well, like I tried to get into it, but like when it first came out, it was almost impossible to get, like, at least get these deck. The people are buying it out. I'm like, you know what?
That's true.
I'm not really trying it. I'm not going crazy. I'm not running around. I want to get something easy to play, easy to find, and easy to do. So I'm not going crazy over it.
Right, right. Yeah. But not to knock on those games. They're
Oh
great
no, not
games.
at
I'm
all.
just
Like,
kind of
yeah,
we're
no,
just
I don't knock on anything that anyone wants to play. Like, if that makes them happy and that's what they like doing, go for it. I have nothing to say against that.
So, I know that you do a lot of volunteering and demos and everything like that. And I think that setting like demo nights and events up in spaces other than gaming related spaces is a fantastic idea. So how do you go about like doing your demos and volunteering? What kind of stories can you tell?
I mean, the best
Yes.
thing to do is just, if you somewhere you think you could they could host it, like, and you like going there, just talk to someone that works there and be like, hey, I like this game. It's fun to play with, and talk about the game and everything, and then ask if you can host a game night there. Like, hey, it's not really much, like, whatever night you guys want to do it, I'll do a learn to play night. And it's very rare they're gonna say no, because it's gonna be money brought in, a little extra couple bucks put in. Like, even if you bring in two extra people in, that's a couple extra bucks in your pocket, as opposed to let's say, whatever they're gonna make that night. It's like, all right, there's three more people that came in. They're buying product from us and then from there. And then it's like, all right, well, they discovered this place. They discovered the brewery because of the game, and they like the brewery, and now they got a customer there. But then there's people at the brewery that might discover the game and discover Supershow. So it's like, it's almost like one hand washes the other.
Right.
And I think that's the biggest thing, is like, you can't be afraid to ask where you want to host a game. Like, go, you want to try at a local library, if that's allowed, go for it. Ask. I don't think there's anywhere you should not try to host an event, because the worst they can say is no. And I'm like, okay, you don't want to host it? Okay, no problem, and move on. And there's actually, nowadays, people are hurting for business. So why wouldn't they want to host an event there that, even if you bring in three, four people, it's just four people more than they had.
Right. That makes a whole lot of sense. So, yeah, folks, if this is the position that you're in and you have the willingness to do something like that, it does not hurt just to ask.
And
Um,
the one thing I will add is, the best thing about this community too is, so many people, like, depending on your area and who you have around you, so many people within the community that are already based in the game, they'll still come out to a learn to play event because they like this game so much. At my learn to play event, I still had people driving from Philadelphia, 2 hours, over 2 hours to get to the event. People coming from Long Island, again, like almost 2 hours, and paying all those tolls to get to the event, because it was a Super Show event at a learn to play event. There wasn't a big tournament. There was the only tournament we had, a couple small tournaments that I used my own cards for prize support. But other than that, it was like, just a learn to play event, and people came in and they didn't mind hosting and help teaching people the game. I know, like, Taylor helped, Molly helped, Simon Davner, Evie, all these people, like, they didn't mind showing new people how to play the game, which is like, I completely appreciate it, because I didn't ask them to do that. I didn't say, hey, could you come and help me host this learn to play event? They came just for the event, and then they did it on their own, which is something I think is rare to find in any community, let alone gaming communities.
right. So we're getting to the end of this podcast, and once again, I want to thank you for coming on. But I wanted to talk. What's going next for you?
Right now, I'm actually just starting to get into streaming, and I'm going to be streaming, just not just gaming, but like, talking, actually, like, just hosting a talk show. And one thing I want to focus on, and like, I'm not saying this because I'm a professional or anything, but mental health, I think, is one of those things that, she with guys, isn't talked enough about enough, and
Uh-huh.
stigmatized. So, like, I'm not going to be like, well, like, oh, I'm not going to help fix the problem, because I'm not in that route that's not in my wheelhouse, or I'm smart enough to do that. But something just to talk about, so it's not as stigmatized or kept into like, it's just between you and your therapist, or you and like one or two close friends. Like it should be talked about more, and not just guys,
Right.
not just men, but it mainly is stigmatized against men. But I want my streaming for that. I want to do like a Lego builds. I'm going to be doing, and I'm not sure when.
Okay.
Rebuilding an Xbox One controller. So I had
Oh, okay.
yeah, that Xbox One controller, and the casing broke a little bit, and as it broke, it got more brittle and started falling apart more. So I just bought a new housing for it. I'm going to replace all the buttons, and everything. It's going to be, pretty much the only thing I'm keeping is the hardware for it, and everything else is getting changed out.
Nice. That sounds neat.
It's the first time
Uh,
I'm doing it. I've only replaced cases. I've never replaced buttons before. So it should be, something fun to do on stream, and learn in front of people.
cool, cool. So, where can folks find you?
I'm going to be streaming on my Twitch, which is the Matty Bar One, MattyBar1 on Twitch. And then on my Discord is the same, and then my Instagram is just Matty Bar One. All that's pretty much the social media I interact with the most. And
Oh,
yeah, like that's what I'm probably gonna be doing most of my streaming on. Right now it's gonna be very sporadic, but once I get going and like really feel in my element about it, I'll probably start scheduling things more.
all right. All right. Well, I got one final question that I'd like to ask my guests when that come on my podcast. So Matt, what is something interesting about you that people may not know about?
I think very few people know about it, that I used to be in marching corps. So I was in the Caballeros for 2 years. I was also a pro skater
Uh,
for about 3 years.
all
Uh,
right. So, okay.
yeah, yeah, I was a pro skater for like 3 years. I got injured, or got a couple knee injuries, and that kind of took me out. And then I happened to be on four different food shows just coincidentally, because they happened to be filming at the restaurant I was at the same time.
So, all right. So you were in what, drum and bugle corps?
Yeah, drum and bugle corps.
Yeah. What would
I
you?
did, yeah, I did the pit. So I started in high school. I started learning the drums while I was in junior high, and then I did what call it, drum corps. Then in high school, I did a drum line for a little bit, and I felt like that wasn't really my thing, so I went to the pit. And then I ended up liking that, and it was a lot of fun for me. I mean, when I was in high school, we won championships 3 out of 4 years I was in there. What, three or two out of 4 years I was in high school. I was in it, which I thought was pretty cool. And yeah,
Okay.
it was a fun time for me.
Nice. Nice. You had a couple of little interesting tidbits about you that
Yeah,
I would not have guessed. Well, the skating thing I could see.
yeah.
The drum corps thing that was in the food the food show thing. What shows if you
No, was
remember?
it? I'm trying to think. One was Food Paradise. I know that. Uh, I think actually two of them were Food Paradise, just two different occasions. One was at a hot dog place in New York City, and one was a pizza place near me. I'm trying to think the other one was. I think one was like I was in the background of a Guy Fieri show,
Okay.
but I know the Food Paradise one. I did have like a speaking role because they interviewed me, interviewed me, asked me what I like about the place and my favorite dish there. I forgot the name of the actual episode is, but I know it's one about pizza. This pizza place by me, I like Brother Bruno's, where they have dessert pizza, which is insane. They have like all pizza, like pretty much everything, any kind of dessert you want on it, you could get like Oreos, chocolate chip cookies, cake, frosting. Like it's it's pretty much a diabetic's worst nightmare, but it's really good.
Nice. Thanks, Matt. Appreciate you coming on my show.
No, I really appreciate you thanking. I thank you for having me. I'm very happy to be on this. I always like being parts of different things, really, if it helps the community grow and helps other people with their endeavors. And I guess that's pretty much it. Like, so I'm gonna ask you something. What got you into not just gaming, but like doing the podcast and doing everything that you do?
Okay, so I've told my gaming origin story, but like the social media presence thing, this is what I like to talk about. Um, it all started with my personal Instagram, where well, that's not true. So way back in the Google Plus days, Google
Okay.
Plus, RIP.
Yeah.
I started sharing pictures of the board games that I played on various Google Plus groups and also just on Facebook in general. Then I made a personal Instagram where I primarily did that. And then in 2019, I started a vlog for role-playing games just because I wanted to have a place to talk about role-playing games. So basically Instagram, then YouTube, and then a couple of people reached out to me during the pandemic about stuff. I was a Dice Tower contributor for a long time,
That's awesome.
and I don't do that anymore. But I know I'm on Instagram, I'm on YouTube, just because I feel like I need a way to share my love and my passion for tabletop games. So that's why I'm here, no matter the size of the audience.
You see,
Um,
that's all. Like that's why I want to stream because no matter I want to just share things I like and I'm passionate about with other people, no matter how big. And like it's awesome that you're doing this because again, you're not doing it for anything else but yourself, which is I think what a great
right.
reason to do something.
Yeah, this is definitely a hobby. I'm not getting rich by this by any stretch of the
Yeah.
imagination. All right. Yeah. So
Yeah. So
thanks
thank
for
you.
asking. And thanks for listening to the Ron Talks Tabletop Podcast Super Show Sunday. And until next time, see you later.